Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Castles, Cantrips and Conniptions podcast. My name is Evan.
And I am Edward.
And together we have this podcast where we talk about fantasy related things, tabletop roleplay, video games, movies, and anything about fantasy. So, Edward, how are you?
I'm alright actually. Quite a busy day today, but I'm fine. I listened to our first episode today on the bike. I think
nice.
It turned out really well.
Yeah, I listened to it for a bit, also during editing. I think it's quite alright.
Yeah, it is. I did quite a bit of work for the podcast today. I'm working on the Discord server. Ooh, exciting! Yes.
Oh yes.
And I don't know if that will be finished by the time this episode will be up because we're recording a few days early, but we'll see. So I'm working really hard on that, getting some roles done. I'm gonna have a friend of mine help me with setting up bots so you can use music commands and get roles and stuff. And I'm also working on other socials as well. And I'm trying to see some more platforms where we can post the podcast.
Alright. Yeah, that's good to hear. Especially once it takes off, these kinds of things are what people will be asking about.
Yeah.
So to have them ready.
Yeah, of course. I thought get them ready right away and then see afterwards what we end up using. But first, be prepared.
Yes, exactly. So speaking of prepared,
oh god,
you had some things prepared?
Yes, I like to prepare some stuff. I have some questions for you, and they're all based on D&D. So,
okay. Like trivia questions or just?
No, not trivia. Like sort of character questions, stuff like that. I'll just get started, and you'll see right away what type of questions I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If you had to hang out with any of your characters, who would it be and why, and what would you be doing?
Right. I think you'd be best to answer this one first, since you have most experience with player characters.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I mean, I've been a DM, but more so a player. I think I'd either go drinking with Gaius, one of my characters who he's like this Spartan sort of veteran soldier, but I'd probably end up in either a city jail or being chased by something that I don't want to be chased by.
I thought Gaius was maybe like a lawful character.
Oh yeah, he's lawful until alcohol,
Right.
gets involved. So either Gaius or maybe I go horse riding with James. I haven't told you about James yet. It's a new character I'm working on.
Okay.
Based on a poem, one of my favorite poems of all time, Charge of the Light Brigade, and it's basically about this cavalry charge that happened during the Crimea War, as in the old one. And they were there was British cavalry charging against Russian guns head on, and something I felt so inspired by the poem to write a character. I know it's philosophical and crap, but that's how I make my characters.
Yeah, that's alright.
So I did, and I probably go horse riding with him because he's a good sport. He's a very nice guy.
So who wrote the poem? A soldier?
The poem. So I just said it was my favorite poem of all time, but I don't remember who wrote it. It was some. It was like a lord or something, or sir. I think. Yeah, I honestly don't really know. I know what the poem is about. We actually analyzed it in my English class, but yeah, I really like it, and I was like, damn, I want to make a character based on that. Character, his name is James, and I went with the last name of the guy who actually led the charge historically, so that's pretty interesting. But I'd go horse riding with him because he's a fun guy.
Okay. Yeah, so not your character from Avalon.
No, I don't think Jonas isn't a very nice guy.
Yeah, Jonas.
Jonas is an anarchist and a criminal, and I would not like hanging out with him. Gaius and James are both sort of like military guards kind of people.
Yeah.
So I probably get along better with them.
Okay. Yeah. So I have only played a character twice, 2 different characters.
God.
Yeah, I know, it's shocking to hear. For someone who has played and collected D&D stuff over the years, I've only had 2 characters. My first character is a half-orc named Argos, and he's like this witch hunter type of guy.
Oh, nice.
So he
That's
has
very cool.
bit edgy, like an
Of course.
old half-orc with a crossbow and like a witch hunter hat, like a Van Helsing. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
So he's just this really like moody character, doesn't really trust anyone.
Yeah, the classic bounty hunter. I'm just here for the cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He does have a heart, but it's hidden, or it's there are many layers until you get to his heart.
He's like
an onion.
ogre.
Yeah. That's like it, yeah.
I mean, he is an half-orc, so...
Yeah. So, as for hanging out with him, I'm not so sure. Like, he
probably just tell you stories about...
Yeah, many stories. But that's really about it. He doesn't really talk much anyway. So the other character might be quite fun. He's a doctor named Harold Jackdaw. And he's like this medical doctor. He has a walking cane. He's like this scrawny looking fellow. But he's quite regal and hangs around nobility and stuff.
Yeah, like the typical aristocratic, trust me, I'm a doctor type of guy.
Yeah. But he has, his expertise is potions and stuff, and poisons. So I think he could cook up something really fun for the evening.
Oh god, yeah, making
yes,
brownies with the dog.
Yeah.
You'd just be Heisenberg, like he'd be Heisenberg, and you just be a Jesse.
Yeah. That's
alright, cool.
That's quite fun. So I think him as to hang out with, or just to get into some noble villas for like these big parties with great food.
Yeah.
Like he is right at home there. So I think
awesome. I never heard of that character.
No, I played him with a different group, only twice I think.
Okay, well, when I'm done with my big ass world and I have time, meaning I finished this year, then
all right.
I'll host a huge campaign in Irandor, which is my homebrew world. But it really needs more work. It has like 40 pages of stuff now, but I don't think that's enough. So
okay.
When that's finished, and I know we have time for at least one session every 2 weeks, then I'll definitely be hosting a campaign there, and you can most definitely make a character. Also, since I'm making my own homebrew races and stuff, so I think that'd be fun for you, a veteran D&D player, to explore a bit.
Yeah. Like
custom abilities and stuff. I reworked a lot of things, but there's also a lot of new things in there.
Yeah, but it's compatible with 5th edition?
Oh yeah, it's based on 5th edition, and it's a lot of just the existing races which I've reworked. I've renamed some abilities, added some abilities, removed some abilities, so you get these own custom races that I haven't yet seen in actually I've seen one in action. My brother has played a character in my world for a one-shot type of thing as one of the races, and it worked out pretty well. So yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
Alright, next question.
Yeah.
So, from your favorite character, what type of ice cream would be their favorite?
Ice cream.
Yeah.
I don't know. what ice cream they would like. Like what's the difference between liking different ice creams?
No,
What
it's just
flavors?
like, oh, this character's really broody. He could probably go for like some cherry melange or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
but
man.
what makes someone moody like cherry, opposed to
I
vanilla or
think for
chocolate?
like the color and the taste. If it's more bitter, then it can be more like broody and more rogue-like. You know, if it's
Yeah,
wild and funky, it could be a sorcerer. You know, that type of deal. So
I
maybe for your like aristocratic character, it could be something quite exotic or something.
yeah, like chocolate, for instance. I don't think they have chocolate everywhere in.
No. I mean, like if they could just get modern ice cream, any taste, and then just what would they get?
Yeah. So like chocolate, probably because no one else can get it because it's so rare. I can imagine in a world like that.
All right.
But I've
And
made
and Argos.
Argos. Yeah, that brings me to the next, maybe a better question regarding ice cream. What weird flavors would there be in the world of Dungeons and Dragons or Faerun or like the Forgotten Realms?
Oh yeah, like just the basic like, you know, like D&D worlds.
Yeah, so fantasy related. Like for instance, an
Yeah,
orc
yeah.
might like a meat flavor or brain flavor.
I mean, there is bacon flavor ice cream that exists, so it's not too far off from
Yeah,
from the real
I
world.
guess, yeah. But like
I,
brain flavor for like a mind flayer.
oh yeah.
They would
Yeah, but
enjoy
I
that.
don't think an evil aberration would be very occupied with eating ice cream.
You don't know that. Like
I
a lich
guess I
lives
don't.
for thousands of years.
Yeah, I mean,
They
it's
might,
basically the monkey and the typewriter scenario. Just the lich is gonna have to come into contact with ice cream at some point.
Yeah,
Can you just
Yeah.
imagine a Sararak ordering a coupe for two at his local place?
yeah, or like an ice cream shop in the Underdark.
Oh yeah, that'd be would
Like
actually be
a
kind of fun for
mushroom
a
flavor.
character, for like a campaign. It's like oh, welcome to the Underdark. We have ice cream here.
Yeah, like a location
I-
or a character who is like this ice cream merchant, and he goes to all these places to find the best flavors.
Yeah, but no one's heard of ice cream yet, so he's
Oh,
new
right,
and he's
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
introduce it to the world. It's like, hello, I bring ice cream.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what's ice cream? It's milk. And then everyone like,
It's
what the
milk,
hell,
but
bro?
frozen, and he's
Yeah,
like this
I've-
mage who can like has the ability to freeze stuff.
Oh yeah, like a frost mage who just makes ice cream
Yeah.
all day. Or I think Gaius would probably. I don't know. I think he'd like the fruity flavors, but he'd be too scared to admit it.
Okay.
So I think he'd go for like, yeah, I'm gonna go for stracciatella or something. But I think he'd really want some like mango or strawberry, because probably reminds him of the farms back home. James, I'm not too sure. I think James would just have a plain vanilla, and Jonas would definitely, if he had ice cream, he would have stolen it from a kid in the first place. So he doesn't really know which taste he's gonna get. He's just gonna revel in the fact that he stole it from a child
Yeah.
because he's a pedantic ass.
Whatever is
Um,
available.
Whatever is available, yeah. I mean, he can probably get most things through the criminal network in the city, but yeah, I think he just enjoy the fact that he robbed it from someone more than the actual flavor. I don't think it would matter to him too much. If he doesn't like it, he'll just give it to his dog.
Yeah.
Well, wolf, you know, if you say dog, he's gonna kill you, but sure.
Wolf dog. Yeah.
Yeah, hasn't he like killed someone in the campaign over saying dog instead of wolf?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he blew up a warehouse and other stuff, but you know, we should definitely do like a D&D sort of, tell some stories about fun things we did in the campaign sometime.
Yeah.
As like
we can do that.
a separate section.
Yeah.
But for now, if your player character lived in the modern world, what job would they have?
I think Hmm. So Argos, the half-orc witch hunter, probably would be working in like construction, or has like a log cabin somewhere in the woods of northern Canada. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something away
mean,
from any civilization or big cities. That's for sure.
all right. And the doctor,
Yeah,
Harold,
Harold.
was his name?
He would probably be like this, either a physician for like some noble people or whatever.
Some Hollywood celebrity.
Yeah, or he would be a drug dealer. For sure.
Yes. And that's pretty much how life goes. You either end up the physician of some celebrity, or you end up a drug dealer.
Yeah. A or B.
I think. Yeah, I think Gaius would, of course. Well, they were all ex-military and stuff, but I think Gaius would be a bouncer at like a nightclub, where he could just throw people out and then join in the fights if anything happened. And I think James would work on stables because he likes horses. Jonas would be either a Reddit shit poster who hates society and posts Joker memes all day.
r/anarchy.
Yeah, pretty much that. Or he'd be an actual criminal, but I'm not too sure on that one.
Maybe like a hitman or something.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, work for a little cartel or something. I have more characters, but these are like the... Oh, I forget Maximilian. Maximilian is one of my most, like, well-written, in my opinion, like, well...
You haven't played it
expanded.
in one of my games?
Yeah. Not in your games, but I have played it in a friend wanted to try out DMing, so I was like, okay, I'll play this really complex character that I made for you, who's never even played D&D before. But
right.
Maximilian would be... I have a feeling he would be this like rich guy who inherited a bunch of money from his parents. He never really had to work, but he does volunteer work, he has a fencing class, and he's a wine taster. I think he'd just be that guy that shows up everywhere. Everyone's like, what do you do for a living? Well, nothing really, but I have this big ass mansion because my parents died and gave me a bunch of money.
Like this real rich kid.
Yeah. I mean, he's an old guy, but he'd just be like. Have you seen Community by chance? On Netflix. Yeah,
so
he'd
like
just be Pierce Hawthorne, but less racist.
Okay.
All right. What is your player character's favorite food?
That's
Can be modern food
another
as well.
difficult question. May I ask a question? Maybe
Yeah,
something more elaborate. So, of any video game or movie you've played, which one would you want to play as a setting in Dungeons and Dragons?
So, of any movie I've watched, any series I've watched, any game I've played.
Yeah.
As like a full-on campaign or a one-shot?
Both, like a setting, just in general, like a cool setting.
Alright. I mean, I have done Star Wars, I have done Lord of the Rings, and I have done...
Yeah, those are obvious, yeah.
Yeah, and I have done... what was it again? Ah, crap.
Shall I answer this? Because I've been thinking about one that I would really like to play sometime. So, The Matrix.
Okay.
Have you've seen The Matrix, or at least?
I have not. I know it's probably a sin to, admit that in a pop culture environment, but I have not watched The Matrix. No.
But are you aware of like the world and what it is?
It's a big simulation, right?
Yeah, it's a simulation. Where people can, or at least certain people can change how the world reacts and the dynamic of the world just by changing their perspective. So if they think they can fly, with practice they can actually fly in this simulation. They can work it to their hand, so to speak.
All right, cool.
But they can also be unplugged. So, and then they are back in the real world. where it's this big apocalyptic world where robots have taken the surface.
Jeez.
And they are hiding underground, the last remnant of humanity.
So basically, they're just GTA 5 NPCs that get banned for hacking, and then they have to return to their basement-dwelling lives or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like plugging yourself into an online game where you have like all these superpowers, except everyone else.
Alright.
But what I particularly think is cool is if you had two characters, one in the real world and one in the simulation, in the Matrix, where in the Matrix you have certain powers, and then back in the real world you don't have those powers anymore, but you have different abilities.
Oh, that sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
there's a lot of possibilities you can do with it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really know any. I mean, I think World of Warcraft, as in like Azeroth and stuff, would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I haven't played much of it. I played it a lot when I was really young, but I don't. I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, just to play in like the Azeroth setting and stuff like that. So that would probably be my answer for that one. But we were on food. I asked you.
Yeah, about food. Like
Or what type of
Argus
food?
but would like just hunks of meat and bread, just as long as it's a lot.
As long as it's a lot and it's still it's dead.
Yeah, and if better if he has slain it himself, so he knows nothing has been tampered with.
Of course. And Harold?
I think Harold is more of a seafood kind of guy.
Oh
Just
yeah, like expensive oysters or something.
Yeah, just like
nice.
stuff that people don't really eat out in the land, except on the coast. So just
Okay.
you would like the stuff as long as it's exotic and
Yeah, as a fancy name rather than fancy taste.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Gaius would kind of agree with Argos. They'd just be like, I don't really care as long as it's dead.
Yeah.
And James, he doesn't care either. I mean, he likes nice food, but during his time in the cavalry, all they really fed him was just stale old bread and a hunk of cheese, you know? Like the Skyrim, I pickpocket an NPC, and this is what I find. That was basically his dinner, his food the entire time.
Okay.
And yeah, Jonas, I'm not sure. I think Jonas would enjoy more like exotic foods and stuff. More so. He also enjoys exotic drink. He appreciates fine drink, liquor and stuff. So if he could combine that with some nice food, then I think he would really enjoy.
So like a cocktail or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a cocktail kind of guy to me.
Yeah, but he
more
is.
of a whiskey. And,
I mean, yeah, like whiskey and stuff as well. But as long as he can, you know, show his wealth and flaunt with it, then he'll be happy.
Okay.
You know, one of your NPCs, he came into his office and he immediately like, here's whiskey.
Yeah.
And Maximilian tries to enjoy peasant food because he sympathizes with them, and he tries to enjoy a basic like carrot soup or something. He finds it very difficult. He was raised on the finest venison and the best food in the whole kingdom, so like going from that to enjoying, I don't know, potatoes and cabbage stew, and yeah, he doesn't really understand peasant food in the sense of he doesn't get why they put more effort into it. And that's because he just doesn't understand how hard they have to work, even though he really wants to.
Right. So what happened if he suddenly got thrown into the wild? because
he would perish.
Okay.
He would instantly die. Yeah, he'd probably be writing in his book about the great adventures of Maximilian and how he would become the patron of the Asper family, and how he would rescue himself from the forest and maybe slay some bandits on the way there. And he just wander around aimlessly for days looking for food and then eventually starving to death.
Yeah.
He's old, man. He just wants a nap and to fight some people with sticks.
So that's when 4 other players would come across his body and his journal.
Yeah, and then a new quest.
New quest, yeah.
This was Maximilian. His full name I can't even remember. He has like 6 or 7 names before his last name. I think it was something like Maximilian, Archibald, Bartholomew, Frederick.
Right.
And it just goes on and goes on. It's also how he introduces himself. It's like, hello, and then he just says his entire name and expects people to be like, oh yeah, I definitely know you.
Yeah. I'm a really big deal, believe me.
Yeah, I'm a big deal up north. I haven't broken through here yet. I'm not I'm not that well known. No, he's not arrogant. He doesn't really. He spent his entire life in and around his county where he was born, so he doesn't really have a perspective on the world.
Yeah.
He's not foolish. He's just not accustomed to other people and other people's way of life, than his own.
Yeah.
Or that he has seen in his county. All right. Which 2 of your PCs would get along the best? I thought you had more, so I figured that maybe it would be easier, but let's explain why Harold and Argos would not get along, because I already know the answer.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't per se, like only if they had to. I think Argos would...
Professionally.
Yeah, Argos would think Harold is like super arrogant, too chatty, not really fit for a life out in the wilderness. Well, Harold would like try and be friends. He's a really friendly guy. He just tries to manipulate someone into doing stuff that he would like to do. So I think he would try to manipulate Argos as well, because he's not the smartest person in the world.
Does he do it on purpose or not?
A little bit. His intentions are always on the right side of things, but he would still like do it to help himself as well.
Yeah. He only helps others when he can get something from it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think this is really easy for me. I think James and Gaius would get along so well. Literally smoking crack and drinking. That's all they would do. And then they'd probably go out to a bar and beat some random people up just because they looked at their insignia wrong. And then I think James would take Gaius horse riding, but Gaius is really bad at horse riding because he gets aggressive and then he's frustrated with himself and then he falls off the horse. And I think Gaius would then in turn bring would bring James along sailing, and James would probably be scared of the water or something, I don't know.
So 2 best friends.
The BFFs, the ex-guard and the ex-military man.
Yeah.
What is your character's one of your character's favorite animal?
Favorite animal? Argos, he wouldn't really have a favorite animal.
The one he likes to kill the most.
Yeah, maybe, or just the one that... he doesn't really mind any animal. He would think it's pretty standard to see animals roaming around. He would just left them to do that thing.
Alright.
He wouldn't really have
be very objective towards animals.
Yeah.
Like, oh yes, they're animals, they are either food or they are walking.
Yeah. They are either killing me or I am killing them. Or
yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah. As for Harold,
Harold?
again, same answer. Anything exotic, anything out of the ordinary.
Oh yes, I do prefer capybaras. Just like the random animals.
Yeah, but especially I think venomous creatures you can use to extract their venom and do stuff with it. He would
have like pots of spiders and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like a big terrarium in his mansion or something with snakes and all sorts of...
Yeah, I'm not coming over.
No, he wouldn't particularly enjoy it. Again, just useful for himself rather than like a companion or something.
Okay.
So what about you?
I think... I don't know. I think Gaius would really... probably really likes eagles because he enjoys watching them fly. But he doesn't understand how the flying works. As in, he doesn't understand how the air is... like how they glide and stuff. So I think that'd be really funny. He'd be like, yeah, I like eagles. Like, oh, you must know so much about them. I don't know shit about them. I just like how they fly and they peck people who are annoying. And James, it's an easy one. That's definitely horses. He loves his horse Aries, and he enjoys spending time with him like a friend. And Maximilian really likes foxes because that's on his family crest. The fox is the Asper family animal, and Maximilian is quite proud of his heritage, so he probably choose either the fox or the I think like a small bird of some kind. I'm not really sure which one, but
like a songbird or
I think a songbird, like maybe a blue jay or something like that.
Right. So Gaius and James aren't the brightest minds in the world.
Gaius definitely just isn't in general. James is quite smart strategically, but in life he has not made the best choices, so I'd say socially he's more stupid than than he is. He is quite intelligent in the sense of he knows a lot of things, but in the way of like, oh, I know this about the world, I know how things work. He isn't really bothered by that, so he won't really be interested in that and therefore not know much about it.
Okay.
He cares about horses, drink, strategy, and his position as a sergeant, and that's all he really cares about.
Yeah, so a bit more ignorant towards other things, and just what he knows quite well.
Yeah, direct approach, much like Gaius.
Yeah.
Except then Gaius would just storm in. James would at least give out orders to people because he already has a plan. He enjoys working on like doctrines and stuff and effective ways of fighting and battling in his free time.
Yeah.
When he's not attending to Ares or practicing his sword arm. Alright, final question.
May
what
I ask
music...
a question?
Oh yeah, of course.
So, again, it's which character, what would they like, what would their favorite thing be, but this time, video games. What game do you think your character would really enjoy?
Gaius would like Doom. I know he would. He's like, I can kill things and mash buttons? Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, so would Argos.
Yeah, you know, like Thor from the fat Thor from Marvel?
Yeah.
Gaius would go from extremely well-trained buff guy to Thor in a matter of weeks if he got the chance to play video games and drink energy drinks and stuff. James would either really like grand strategy, like Total War games or something like that, where he can like control armies and work out his doctrines and simulations, or he'd really like things like Farming Simulator or something, which is like a chill game which he can play when he's high on opium. Yeah, he does that. That's a problem.
Yikes.
And Maximilian, I think he'd be this like boomer grandpa who doesn't understand technology.
To understand technology and gaming.
Yeah, but he'd really want to try because he wants to be as open-minded as he can. So he would just go to his son or his grandson, like, hello, could you please teach me the ways of the Minecraft? And then
Right.
he'd just be playing Minecraft really, really bad with like the boomer fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
typing.
Really
That he'd
slow.
just be playing like that. And he tried to enjoy because he cares about his family, but he wouldn't understand the thing he was doing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question though.
Yeah, I
I
like
really thought
those
about
questions that have nothing to do with the character or the world they're in. But
Yeah, I mean that oftentimes helps with character building a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah, so
We have been going on for 35 minutes about Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, that's alright.
New record. I mean, the channel is new, but the records can only be set now.
Yeah, exactly. We need to have stuff to talk about in the future. Can't do anything,
Yeah.
everything in the same episode.
No, definitely not. I mean, we can just change subjects whenever we want to because we have the power.
Yeah.
No, but those are really fun questions. Also, okay, I just came up with one. If your
Okay.
characters got to travel, which like way of traveling would they choose? A plane, car, or a ship?
Or anything
As
in
in like
between.
cruise ship. Yeah, no, just out of those three because I think
okay.
that's the most fun. Restrict your options a bit.
Well, Harold would definitely have his private jet, so he'd
Of
just
course,
fly
of course.
everywhere.
Land and get in his Ferrari.
Yeah, just to cruise around in his hometown, but otherwise to different countries,
Flaunt his
definitely a
cash.
plane. As for
Alright.
Argos, I think it would be like maybe just a car or like a motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Just
like
by
a-
himself,
Yeah.
no one else, not like public transport or anything where other people are driving for him. He would like to do that
Yeah.
himself.
Okay. Yeah. He has all the control. He knows exactly what's going on. Stuff like that.
Yeah, he would make the choices on where to go, what to do, who to watch out for, which areas to watch out for.
Yeah. He'd be like planning his vacation. He'd be looking up like lists of criminals in that area
Yeah,
before he goes.
definitely.
Yeah. Packing his pocket taser. I think Gaius, it would depend on where he's going. If it's close by, he'd probably take like a ship, and I think like a sailing ship. But if he has to like go commercially, then he'd probably choose a cruise ship. And if he has to go long distances, he would definitely go flying because he loves eagles, as I said, and he's obsessed with flying. But he's never done so before.
Well, yeah, he would
So
be
he'd probably
quite
get
scared,
the
I
chance.
guess.
Yeah, he would definitely be very, very scared, but like he'd be very stoic in his way of going about it, and then, excuse me, I have to go to the toilet for a second, and then he goes to the
Yeah.
toilet, and then he just cries for half an hour because he's scared.
I can see a bit of B.A. Baracus from the A-Team. You know what
I
I'm talking about? The big...
No, sorry, I don't.
Okay, if you look him up, you've probably seen him before.
I probably have.
He's like this big hulking guy who's like really tough and like gold chains around his neck, but he's absolutely...
Oh, is it the guy with the mohawk?
Yeah.
Oh,
B.A.
okay, yeah, then I know
Baracus.
exactly what you're talking about.
But he's like really scared of flying as well, so they have to like sedate him every time they they go up in the air.
Yeah, I think a guy would be like a little kid who's really excited to go flying his first time, enjoys it for 2 minutes, and then just starts crying throughout the entire plane.
Oh, you don't want that.
No. James would probably... I mean, if he could take his horse, he would. If he couldn't, like if it was too far, he would probably go by train, actually. Because he really likes going fast in things, and if he took like a bullet train or something, that I think he'd really enjoy that. And
Yeah.
Maximilian would have a private jet and this big car where he has a driver and stuff,
Yes.
and his own private yacht. He's too rich for his own good, man.
Yeah, definitely. He would have any kind of vehicle available to him at any time.
Yeah, he'd just be a GTA Online character with like 16 sports cars, 14 yachts, a submarine, and a small air force.
Yeah. But James does sound a bit like this a guy in a Midwest in the USA.
Oh hell yeah.
Like big
yeah,
pickup truck with maybe a horse trailer
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah, a pickup truck with a horse trailer. Oh my god, I can also already see Ares, this proud, this white horse, beautifully. His manes are kept. His tail is nice. Looks good. He's very stoic and upright, and he's just in this horse trailer like, please help me.
Yeah.
James is taking me somewhere. I don't know.
Taking him to the
Yeah.
ranch.
Going to the range. Yeah, probably. I mean, if James had to live anywhere, as in where he could choose, he'd probably pick like Texas. He'd just go riding around wherever he wanted on the open prairie. If it was actually the country of origin where I like based him off, it'd be England. But yeah, I think if he got to choose, it'd definitely be Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys would be from Greece, but he'd probably, I don't know, he probably would just go
Yeah, but would
wherever he
live?
wants to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's originally he's from a sort of, I think that part of of your world is kind of like German, English, Western European at least, based on
yeah.
those cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd originally be from there, but blah blah blah, child kidnapping, fun backstory. He'd probably end up in Greece and then go to Egypt and then live there, and afterwards be like, nah, don't want to anymore, and just go traveling around Europe.
Okay. What about
But
Maximilian?
yeah, Maximilian.
I kind of see him living in like a chateau in France.
Yeah, either a chateau in France or an English country home.
Right. Yeah.
And then he'd have several houses in other countries just to hang out.
Yeah.
Probably inherit it through his 16 uncles or something, I don't know. Yeah, I think he would mostly stay in his home country, but when the seasons change, he would just leave and go somewhere else.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, sounds quite.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Fun little experiment.
Yeah.
I'll be watching I'm pretty sure I said that before, but I'm gonna watch the Witcher show next Friday.
I have watched the first episode today.
Yeah, you told me. How was it?
It was kind of cool. It's like continuation of the first season.
Yeah, of course.
Like I don't want to spoil a lot, so I'm not
No.
going to or anything. But yeah, the first episodes again, it's a bit of an introduction. Like, where are the characters now after all this
So
time?
how much later is it? Just time wise.
I think it's maybe like a day later. Like not much
a
at
day,
all.
but in the trailer, Siri looked much older.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really come across.
Or maybe
as
that was
much.
just the first episode, and then they jump later in the
She
season.
matures across the season as far as we could gather from the trailer as well. Yeah, but no, the first episodes again, really quite its own episodes, a bit contained, but it still has these elements of where are the characters and where are they going. So it's again a bit of an introduction with a nice whole story plot.
It's like a sub-story basically to get you back into the world for the next season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that.
I mean it makes sense writing-wise. Just okay, well, we're making a new season. These people have probably forgotten everything, so here we go.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'll definitely tell you on the next episode as well.
Visually, it's super well done. Both
Are there any fight scenes in the first episodes?
No, I'm not going to say anything about.
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
you'll
just like in. All right, fine,
You'll have to see
fine. I mean, for the listeners, probably be nice as well if everything wasn't spoiled. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so far this has been the D&D episode with the Witcher DLC added onto it, so that's all right. No, it's fine.
Just a bit more about the Witcher.
Yeah.
I think they were planning several seasons, like 6 seasons already. They said
Yeah,
they
you
wanted to
told
do
me.
so.
That would make it very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know where they could go besides from the backstory of the
Well, there
the
are
main characters.
a lot of books. I can't remember how many books, but there's a lot of story and world building that that Sapkowski, the writer, has done for The Witcher, and it helps that there have been 3 games already, where visually you can take inspiration from for the show.
I think that would make the job a lot easier if you already knew, like, okay, this is how Visegrad looks and stuff like that. So, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's
because I was wondering, because, like, okay, after this is done, we have explored the characters' like backstories, because this is really just a backstory of how Jen and Geralt met and stuff like that, and how Ciri ended up with Geralt.
Yeah.
But I wonder where they could go after that. But I suppose, yeah, they got a lot of more content to explore.
Yeah, 100%.
I would miss Geralt though if it wasn't in the seasons.
Yeah, I don't know if Henry Cavill will be continuously playing Geralt, if there are going to be that many seasons. I think he would like to. He's like this big nerd as well.
Yeah, he keeps correcting everybody on set. I saw a YouTube video of that. It's like, nope, that's not true. In the books or in the game, it says this.
Yeah. So I think he just has a lot of fun himself playing Geralt.
Yeah,
so
but you can also see that in the way he plays him. It's just, they couldn't have picked a better actor, in my opinion, for the role. What you think about him as an actor, it doesn't really matter, but like for the role Geralt, he was, I think, the perfect match.
Yeah, I think the Sapkowski, the writer of the books, himself said, like, Henry Cavill is the Geralt for me right now.
Nice. I mean, I think a younger Viggo Mortensen would have worked, but, you know, if he doesn't break his toe, no. I think we'd only really see him as Aragorn. If we saw him in The Witcher, it's like, oh yeah, that's Aragorn playing Geralt of Rivia. Hi Aragorn.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of passion as well from Henry Cavill. Yeah,
but it's always if actors are very vested in the story, then, for example, like Christopher Lee with Lord of the Rings and Ian
McKellen.
McKellen. I was thinking Malcolm. I was like, no. Ian McKellen. They first of all, they knew Tolkien personally, and they also really enjoyed the books. They were huge fans of it, so that automatically really adds to the whole experience of watching them portray those characters, since it almost feels like they are the characters because they know them so well. So yeah. I really hope that more movie and TV show producers make that choice. Oh, we're gonna do a fantasy adaptation or a sci-fi adaptation or something like that of a book or game.
Yeah.
And we pick actors not just based on their skill, because of course that's very important, but also based on their enthusiasm for the whole project and for the character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the source material.
So maybe looking from this kind of perspective, the Lord of the Rings show that's coming out next year will have character or actors that have grew up with the Lord of the Rings, both the books and the movies. Like it's so big right now. Like every actor would, of course, they will have seen Lord of the Rings and would like to be in.
Yeah, because
that
Amazon is dishing out bags of money.
Yeah. So I think.
But yeah, definitely.
The actors in the show, like, they are enthusiastic about their character and what they portray in the world of Lord of the Rings.
But honestly, how could you not be excited about portraying a character in one of the world's greatest movie fantasy settings ever written, ever made, in my opinion?
Yeah, but that would help make the show better if the actors themselves really like it. And really want
definitely
to put themselves.
I mean, I know I would have enjoyed The Witcher less if Henry wasn't so invested in the role. I know I would have, because first of all, the logical explanation is Geralt is the main character, so he has the most screen time. But I think that if even in scenes where Geralt is playing a side character, maybe he still adds to the whole atmosphere of the scene, because simply he is there as Geralt, and he's not there as a side character.
Yeah, absolutely.
That really helps, I think, with the overall atmosphere of the show and the dark, gritty atmosphere it's trying to portray.
Yeah, it's definitely gritty. Even from the first episode of the second season, immediately it jumps into like super hardcore stuff, bit controversial stuff as well.
Yeah, I think I really like that. I mean, I like the classic fantasy with good and bad, and clearly the forces of light and darkness, the standard trope.
Yeah.
But I also really like the gray area. Some people are good, some people are bad. Like the whole silver for monsters, steel for humans idea is very, very morally gray. So, the hero does also kill people.
Yeah, what are monsters?
What are monsters?
Again,
indeed.
in the first episode, second season, there's another little conversation between Geralt and someone else about monsters and what it means to be a monster. Like what comes with why is someone a monster?
Yeah, what makes them a monster, and why? What right does that give you to claim their life? So that's really that's definitely awesome. Sometimes when I'm like, I just want to chill, I just go for some classic fantasy, because that stuff can get really, really advanced, really philosophical sometimes.
Really deep, where you really need to think about every second during the show.
Yes.
Just something mindless is quite enjoyable too from time to time.
Yeah, just consume for a bit. We have hit the 50-minute mark. We're already 2 minutes over. That's alright. I was gonna talk about the Witcher, sort of animated Witcher that I saw on Netflix, the animated show.
Yeah, we can talk about it. That's fine.
I mean, I want to save it to the next time, because then I can rewatch it and maybe bring up some details that I've forgotten because I've watched it quite a while ago.
Okay, so we promise next episode will be all Witcher themed?
Yes. No, not all Witcher themed, but we'll start off with the Witcher animated series and what my thoughts are on that.
Yeah, the game.
Have you watched it?
I have watched it. Yes,
Yeah, it was great. It was great, but let's save that for another time.
Not really the games, because you haven't played a Witcher game yet, have you?
I have played Witcher 3, but not the completion. I've played quite a bit, but not much, not completely start to finish.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, that was the that was the
I
podcast.
Guess that's where we leave it now then.
Yes, if you could give us goodbye.
Yeah, well, thank you all for listening, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's fine. It can work.
Yeah, it's fine too. We have a little fun graphic that took 8 hours to render, but
hey,
other than
they're
that,
not supposed to know.
Other than that, it's all good. It's all good. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing if you want to. We would really appreciate it. Like the video, and especially comment and tell us what you would like to see, stuff we talk about, or maybe just some
constructive criticism.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
And make sure to check out our socials as well, Instagram, and read the description. I put some information there that might help you really understand the channel and stuff. So check that out, and we will see you in the next episode of the
castles, cantrips, and conniptions.
Yes, damn, bro.
It's still a bit of a tongue twister.
It is, but that's why I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
See ya.